Hello, my Forex junkies. This is Sydney Guajardo coming to you live from San Antonio, and we are the trading places. All right, let's go look for some trades. It was a pretty good day today in Forex, especially for the pound. Not so much for the for the country. They went ahead and locked down another 6 months for COVID, and the pound pairs that I just happened to be in short, they just dropped. And so on a combination, I did maybe 40 pips on, I think it was pound dollar and pound yen. But after that, it went kind of flat and wasn't so profitable. If I would have just taken those two trades, I would have been would have made a lot of money in 10 minutes. But it just, everything else was just really flat. There was no news. But anyway, speaking of news, let's go to Forex Factory. Let's see what's happening there. We do that every single day. I do everything right now like I'm gonna like I'm getting ready to start as well. So so I want you to have the same habits I do. So Tuesday, we don't have to worry about that. It was 2:30 in the morning, and that already happened. And then the 9:30 folder for the dollar, that already happened as well. So tonight we have to look at the New Zealand pairs, and they have red folders as well. So you have to look at all news, but just be very careful when it comes to this. So, all right. So let's look for some trades. All right. So I'm just going to tell you how I do it. As every single day. To me, a 60-minute chart is kind of like looking at a microscope. So I always go to the 480. Oh. Okay, so it kind of gives you a broader spectrum of what you're looking at, of what's getting ready to happen. So let's take a look at the high side. This is the high point right here. The highest on the screen is the chart right here, and this is the low side. This was in July, and this was sometime in the beginning of September, and then I like to do where we left off. Today's business right there. So now that we see where we're at, if the trade wants to go up or down, we're in no danger of hitting the top or bottom of the market. So from here, I'd just like to go back to the 60, and let's see where we are. Okay, see, it looks like we're at the bottom. If we're looking at some kind of convergence, it would definitely be on this side, or on the I call it a street. It'd definitely be on this side of the street, looking to go forward, right? And so where are we here? We're at 1.17069. We definitely have a downward trend going on here. It did have some retracement here, but the overall trend is still short. Okay, so can it continue to go this way? It might. It showed a little bit of life, like it wanted to come back and go long, and it could. Let me see here. Let's see if we can look for some cash here. Sometimes when there's market manipulation, see what happens is you have this banker's candle here. And what this tends to happen is, in order for them to collect on this, usually it'll mitigate between 71 and 88% of that candle, which is somewhere right around there. And then it just drops. And it takes everybody's money. It kind of fakes everybody out to do this. And it takes this. Sometimes it drops here. Sometimes the trade never happens. But this is where the big move comes in, when you see these candles, these big it's not a really, it's like a market manipulation. It's what they call a banker's candle. Same thing happened here. Right here, it came back right here and it dropped, it came back and mitigated between 71 and 88% of this candle, and then it just drops. It did it twice. So I think we've seen a big move for euro dollar already. It's getting ready to happen. If I had to take a bet on this one, because it's already kind of at the bottom and it's not really moving here, I think it's probably going to go north from here. But there's no indication. I think there's going to be a correction or trend change. But all indicators say that it is going to go short. But it's already had some life coming back up here. Let me see here. The euro's been moving a lot here in the last couple of weeks. With the big move like this, it wasn't like a slow and steady kind of short run. It was pretty abrupt. This happened over the course of 2 days, and so this is what's making me feel that this is going to go long. But there's no indicator that's telling you this at all. So what we're going to do here is let me put a little message here, and you guys do the same thing. So let's wait. Let's wait for some volume and some signals tonight. And the reason why it's hard is because even though it's a support line, it's a support line that was just generated. It's not like it came to a support line and it's hovering and it may bounce north or go south and it's hard. It just happened. We'd have to go way back in history to figure what's going to happen here. So we need some volume and some signals to kind of figure this out. Another reason why is each trade pair has not, I don't know what it's called, but it only moves so much during the day, and in the last few days it's been going in one direction, and it's used every bit of fuel it's got or momentum it's got to do this. So it's not normally a big fast moving pair like this, but it's what it did. So anyway, let's the euro dollar has hit a low, not an all-time market low, but it has hit a low in the last week or so, and it may correct its trend and go long. So let's wait for volume and some signals from King Solomon, and let's go with that. Let's look at dollar yen. Okay, so here we go. So let's erase these lines from yesterday. All right, so let's go to the all right, so top of the market here. Where's right there. And the bottom is right here. This is very important, right? It's pretty recent too. So just this is pretty accurate. I mean, I'm sure we could find a lower low, but we'd have to go way further back. But this low here created a support line. So now let's go back to the. Let me erase this. So now let's go back to the 60. So now we can kind of see what we're doing. And we left off on our business, we left off right here. Okay, so I'm sure everybody sees this. Every time we do training, close to the end of business of the U.S. session, wherever it closes, it kind of ends up on a support and resistance line, and a pretty good one too. So it makes me feel that every time, money always comes back home. It kind of got away from this zero line or whatever you want to call it, and then it just started to trend back north, right? But the overall trend is short. Okay, so are we going to continue the trend to go north, or was this just a big retracement? It's very hard to tell. We do have an announcement tonight. I don't know if that's going to affect the dollar, but we did have an announcement today for the U.S. dollar. Let's kind of read that. It says that it's supposed to be good for the dollar, but it really didn't do anything. It really didn't do anything. There's people that feel that the news leaks not to the general public before this, so the impact is already kind of built in to the move that it makes. But anyway, it looks like we got on a little run here. This is about I don't know, maybe 10 hours ago or so. Maybe this is part of the news. Who knows? I'd have to calculate it. But it did hit a support line here, or resistance line. It broke through it and came back. So I think the dollar yen is probably going to go north. So I could be wrong on this one. It hit this pivot point here, which was the end of business yesterday, and it broke right through it. It came back, retested, and broke it again. So now we're coming into the levels of resistance. So let's see here. I really believe that it's going to go north from here. And so nothing's moving right now. USD, whoops. It looks long after 104,983. Okay. Now this could depends on how strong this resistance line, and it's pretty strong. It depends on how strong this resistance line. It could even break past it, maybe a pip or two, and then come back. So just make sure if you do take this long after the 104,983 that it has a little bit of momentum, and it actually breaks through, because it could retrace on you. So, but it looks like it's going to go north. It's got pretty good momentum. It actually broke structure right here. Let me see. Yeah, it broke structure. So this is definitely what I would do, is look for this on a long. Let me move this out of the way. So this would be your entrance. You're actually pretty close to that. So how are the spreads looking on this one? Let me see. I can't see. You should be okay right now. Just you know, there is that 104,983. There's another resistance line that I would keep an eye on. Make sure you want to write this down. 105,112. So, and that's probably this one right here. So yeah, just make a correction on that, and just, you know, as a matter of fact, let me. $105,112. And I think that would be this one right here. Actually, it's right there. The top of that wick right there. $105,015. That's close enough right there. Once you get past that, it should run. I mean, you have other resistance lines here, but you should be okay after that one. Okay, let's go to Euro JPY, Euro Yen. All right, let's all-time high on the recent day chart. So let's erase this stuff. This is from last time. There's a high right there. And let's look for a lower low right there. And where did we finish off? Okay, to do that, I usually like going to the 60. I'm just going to round up to this pivot point here. Okay, so see how many times that this money has been tested on this PP? It's called a pivot point. That is a very, very strong resistance line. And it seems like every time it touches it, it bounces. Or it'll test it and grab some stop losses or some pending orders and come right back down. It's only been penetrated in this recent time, one time. So be very careful with this one. This one's a very hard one to judge. The reason being is because it's been going sideways for a long time. You know, maybe 10, 12 hours. It's kind of like started right here. It's been making this channel right here. So you just got to be very careful. And when it creates a channel like that, it's just like a crapshoot of which way it's going to go. Now you do have a pretty strong downtrend. I'm just showing you what is actually, you know, what's fact. It's come off of a downtrend. You're in consolidation. You're at a very good resistance level here. I think it may go long, but it could go short. Forex has a mind of its own. So in a case like this, just kind of take notes and try not to take the trade like right now. I would wait for, so on Euro Yen, let's wait for some volume to see what the trade wants to do, right? So there's no use in taking a trade that doesn't make any sense. I'm not saying this doesn't make any sense, but the trade has not. You have to wait to let it come to you. Okay. And Solomon signals. So let me see here. It's just basically a crapshoot again. It can go up or down. That's a lot. That's a lot of wisdom, right, from me. So there's just not a lot here. Usually that's after a let me get this drawing out of the way here. Okay, so usually like this morning had some pretty good volume, did some pretty good trades, and it was just flat all day. A major euro, or is it euro, dollar yen? That thing moved very, very little. I mean, it maybe moved like 3 or 4 points. That's not even a pip. When I got known, it was dollar Swiss. It stayed in the same spot for like 8 hours. So usually when stuff like that's about to happen is because they're waiting on news, some manipulation, whether it's real or fabricated. So just be very, very careful when a trade is in consolidation like this one. So that's the reason why it's hard to make any moves right now. You really need some volume. Once the volume happens, some volatility, it's not that it's easy, but it's easier. Okay, let's look at Aussie dollar. Everything looks like it's kind of at the bottom, right? Actually, this one's in the middle. Okay, this one's at the top. And let's look at where did we leave off? We left off right there. So, do we have any cash here? Okay, so just the way this looks, and by what I've seen, this thing has the opportunity, or maybe a tendency, to go north to about here, and then drop. I could be looking at it wrong, but it looks like that's. But first, before it does that, it's got to go north. So I think this one's going to go north. I think it's going to go north. It just has to break this 71,694 first. It kind of looks like it hit the bottom here, and it looks like it wants to go north. We just need for it to move. It moved quite a bit today, so I think it'll continue, but it may change direction. So, especially with this move it's making here. But just wait after this 71,707. It's actually moving a little bit now. So, just wait. It still has to break this plane here. So, but anyway. We've already gone over about 4 trades. That's about all the time we have for today. So anyway, same time, same channel. Make sure to trade with caution. Things are not moving like they should right now, so just be very careful. This is also an election year, and we're about, I don't know, 35 days away from an election. So it's United States is a pretty big election. So anyway, kind of weird out there. Country's a little divided, or the world is a little divided. So just treat your neighbor, or treat your family like you do your neighbor, and also help people that can't help themselves. So anyway, from San Antonio and trading places, we'll see you tomorrow. Thank you. Bye bye.